Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show reviews. And today, Lottie and I are going to be reviewing The Last of Us, Episode 2. It's entitled Infected, coming to you from HBO, streaming on HBO Max. So, what do we think about it, and should you be watching? Before we get into the review, get down there, hit the like button on this video. Well, Lottie, we're back for episode 2 of The Last of Us. And where we it left off last time, Joel and Tess and Elie gotten out of the walled-in, zone, or out into the city, and they found out that Elie had been bitten, but somehow she's not infected, and now they got to get her across Boston to this encampment. And so this whole episode is the trials and tribulations of walking a few blocks in cordyceps infected Boston, and let's just say doesn't go well, right? So I hadn't, obviously, again, I hadn't played the game, and really I don't know much about the particulars of the story. And you have played it, so you do know about that. So we're going to bring our different perspectives in this. So I'll go first this week, like I did
hmm
last week. And I will say I really liked this episode. Like I thought it was good. I didn't like it as much as the first episode because there was a lot more dramatic stuff, like kind of hair-raising things happening in the first episode. But I mean, all around, the presentation was pretty fantastic, actually. I thought the acting was good all the way around. I mean, this is a three-person. Those are only three people really acting in this episode. Everybody else is running around trying to eat, trying to eat somebody or infect somebody. But to that end, I liked all three of the performances. Man, this Bella Ramsey is she's great. I like her as Ellie. She's a little smart ass,
Yeah,
but
she
she's
definitely she
yeah.
definitely improved from last episode. Definitely.
It's well, we get to see her, not really out of the eye of the watchful eye of the fireflies, and she's a smart ass, and she's kind of got a foul mouth, and she's sarcastic and smart, but she's also kind of full of wonder. She hadn't seen anything before. She's never been out of this, the quarantine zone or whatever, and just kind of seeing her act like she's on some kind of field trip was funny to me. And later on, she kind of kept herself together when shit was going down. So I really like, and of course, Pedro Pascal as Joel, just like dude nails it as just kind of just a badass. He's a badass, but also, you know, he's reluctantly forming some kind of bond with Ellie. And then the whole thing with Tess was just like she's such what a cool character. I really liked her. I wish I had kind of seen a little bit more because just seeing how she handled everything and the way she was kind of, maybe more of the leader than Joel was. I'd say maybe a little more. But we got zombie action in there. That was pretty amazing. They introduced the clickers, and that was really damn cool. Like it was very atmospheric. Everything looked great. I enjoyed it, and then that kind of the finale to the episode was really great. So there's a lot to love in this episode for me. But to me, the highlight of the episode was the intro, which was, they showed kind of where things kind of started in Indonesia. I thought that was amazing, and I watched it a couple times. It's still kind of chilling to watch that. So just I really, what I'll say. I love the episode. Out, it gets better the second time around, but I really really liked what happened. So anyway, Lottie, what you think?
So okay, here's where the perspective of the person who played the video game is going to come in perspective. And I know multiple people who have played the game and all told me they 100% agree. They hate the opening, and I do too. And I say, you know what? And this is the reason why we hate the opening. We hate the opening because the thing about what we love so much about the Last of Us world, we don't know where it started from, who patient zero is, how it mutated, how it anything. but this show is trying to tell us it, and us why, and this is why us gamers don't like it. It's because the show is slightly canon, because the Neil Druckmann even said so. So here's the thing that I'm saying they need to. I'm hoping that they don't do this, and I hope this is the last time they do a flashback about the original. Because even in Last of Us 2, we have no idea how any of this happened. We don't know if it was alien, if it was magic, if it was a mutation, if it was something Resident Evil, if it was a weapon. We have no idea. But the show is trying to explain it, and it's slowly taking away the mystery of it. You know, someone who's played the game for 10, it's sort of like, imagine if you're reading a book and they came out with a TV show that was, the creator of the show said it was canon. The creator of the show said it was canon, and the final and they came out with a season that basically ruined the final book. You see what I'm saying? It's sort of like, don't, because that's the thing that's game. Because in Last of Us 2, they were a little bit showing us about the past, but now it seems like the show is really trying to. And I'm like, don't do that, please.
Well,
Just
stop
it.
Say, did it ruin? I mean, just having this knowledge ruin it? Because I understand where you're coming from. You know, as a person having played the game, that mystery unfolding to you is interesting. But as a people who haven't seen it, they want to know. Like, that's an ongoing question. Like, where any pandemic movie, any kind of disaster, they want to know, like, well, where'd this come from? Like, it didn't just magically appear. So where'd it come from? If you're gonna say it's some kind of fungi that did this, and they pretty clearly established in the game, I'm sure, that hey, it's some fungus thing. So basically they're saying in the TV show, look, people are gonna be asking this question anyway. We're not gonna they can't play through a game and gather little bits of info. We sort of have to tell them what's up so that they'll at least have some basis of understanding of why things are happening. I mean, they did that crap in The Walking Dead for a while, and they never really, resolved what it actually was all about. And it's just going to be a lingering thing for that fandom. But to that end, I get what you're saying. Like, to you, it would have been better if they had been an open question rather than.
Well, see, I don't have a problem. What I'm saying is, I don't hate. If this is the final time they do it, I'm fine with it. But I'm having a sinking feeling that they're going to reveal it, and it's just going to make me not want to play the third game. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's because that's what I'm saying. Just leave it there and just focus on the story that's at hand. Right. But besides that, I love this episode. There were a few differences. For example, in the game, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is one of the things that they made. This is the thing that they use to make up for this simple fact that spores can't get you sick. That the infected are a hive mind. In the game, they're not. The game, you can literally kill an infected literally in front of another one. They won't even know what the heck is going on. You know what I mean? But they decided to do that because instead of having spores get infected, you can accidentally kill one and then everybody else knows. I actually like that. I have no problem with that. And also, the little bit of a difference is that in the game, Elie never got bitten a second time, and Tess did get bitten, but it wasn't in a swarm of infected coming around after her. It was the army, because the army was tracking them after they killed that army person. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They were tracking them this whole entire time, and she stopped them from chasing them. But the reason why they didn't do that, because for the only way they can get away from the army, they had to go underground with the spores, which wouldn't make sense because there's no spores in this TV show. Right. So they decided to use the infected. But like I said, I love the TV show. I love where they're going with this show. Really love the whole thing with Tess. They did it almost basically line to line perfectly how it happened. And I'm gonna say they made the infected a lot more creepier. Like the part where they opened the mouth and I was like, oh,
Or
that doesn't happen in the game at all. That is
right.
completely new.
That yeah, and it lends. It's a different kind of like zombie. Like I've heard people talk about the differences, like no spores, kind of the hive mind, the mycelial network, what they call it, a mycelial network, where
Which makes sense
you
because
know,
it's a fungus. It
yeah.
makes sense.
So they and all that stuff, and it reminds me a little bit of some other games or like zombie things I've played or seen where disturbing something here tells is basically a tripwire. So that all that was really cool, but like seeing kind of that embrace, I guess you will. Now I understand that's called a stalker. That Tess with her, kind of her last moments was with the
No,
stalker.
that's a runner. That's a runner.
All right. Well,
You
somebody was I couldn't remember. I was listening to somebody talk, but either way, the person that it wasn't trying to kill her. It was just trying to infect her, right? Um, and like Tess is going, her the way she went out was like so impactful to me. Even though they did that stupid little trope of the lighter don't light, somehow in this moment it don't light. But I always hate that trope, but it worked for me,
yeah.
and kind of seeing that Elie, she's getting to see the real world and like seeing the infected for real and having her life be in danger and see how they work, and then seeing how quickly that infection really happened. Seeing that she got bitten at the same time as Tess, and that she
Yeah.
basically
I was
she was unfazed, whereas Tess was just about to turn.
That's
So
definitely a better way of getting a viewer instead of a gamer, a viewer to get the hand of what's going on. And I will also say this: the TV show definitely hinted about a lot more affected. Like, remember that part? Just go back and I'm gonna tell you that part where she says she was like, say, "Oh, I've heard stories about infected like this," and Joel's like, "Oh, those are fairy tales," and she said, "Is it?"
hmm yeah.
Hint,
And
hint.
yeah, I mean, she literally called out the clicker, and then they ran into her. So Joel, there and Tess were kind of, not trying to freak her out, but they know about these things.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
the clickers. Yeah, they're really like that.
and
They're bullet
and those
sponges.
click, oh my god, those clicker, they're gross looking, but they're so like it's so strange watching them run about and try to find prey and everything.
They
I mean,
got it so right. The
yeah.
movement, it is 100%. Like I literally was having flashbacks. I'm like, I'm having flashbacks looking at this.
Yeah, I mean, to me, even if you've never watched 1 second of gameplay, you understand. Like this isn't Walking Dead shambling zombies. These things are imminently dangerous, and like they're frightening. And just seeing, like, I want one aspect of that whole little scene. And by the way, I want to call out the direction. Your boy Neil Druckmann directed this episode. So you got the guy that wrote the game. This was his. He directed this, and it kind of shows it's very video gamey, and that some of those sequences, the way they're approached. And I'm not saying that's not a bad thing, but I like close up on Joel as he's trying to silently reload his revolver, while this thing is just like, "Where are you?" And rolling up on him. I mean that sort of there's so much tension in the episode. Like it's the way a zombie like in the Walking Dead later seasons. You're never afraid of the zombies. They just stick them in, stab them in the head. And this one, you try to stab him in the head if you want. She literally hatcheted guy in the face, and he was like, "Nah, I'm still coming." I mean, it's just good stuff. Like I could go on and on. I think
only
that
thing I wish, only thing I wish that they did was the like in the video game to get the clickers to run up, keep away from you. You could throw But they kind of hinted it when he threw down the glass. He threw down the thing to break the glass. Because in the game, you can throw bricks or bottles so they can steer away from you because they react to any type of sound like bats.
Right.
You know, that was like that scene pretty much played like how it literally does in like the game because like it's like Joel and Ellie against like two clickers and Tess and them get separated and one clicker chase after her.
Right.
And we don't see her get bit, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was, kind of like the same thing. Like, I'm pretty sure you realized too that she got bit because
Oh,
the way she was acting.
I felt pretty certain. I was like, yeah, she sure is acting like acting like that turned ankle is way more than it is.
Yeah.
And the fact that I almost thought she was just gonna be like, you guys go on without me when they were all sitting on top of the roof because I was like, she had that kind of this is the end of the line for me look to her. Yeah, but I mean, I think it was a necessary thing because really the story is about you know
Joel
Joel
and Ellie.
and Ellie and
And I'm sure you're starting to get to the point that don't get attached to a character.
oh yeah. I mean, it's the zombie apocalypse. Everybody's on the table. So
This is worse than you think Walking Dead. You could be like, oh, don't get attached to a character in this TV show. Because I thought they were going to keep Tess a little bit longer.
nope, nope.
I was like, damn, they were already. Oof, okay,
Yeah,
they ain't playing.
yeah, no, and they murked all of the people. All of those soldiers were dead, and it's just you understand. Like at least right now, the most dangerous thing you can run across is an infected. But I have a feeling that that's not going to be true for much longer. I get the feeling that they're just like, oh, it's really scary with all these zombies, and I'm like, man, wait until you run into the people.
Well, just remember how we were talking about in episode 1. Why that guy's afraid of Joel?
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Oh, we gonna find out. So
Yeah.
anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts for this episode. Really good. Can't wait for the next one. It's coming up on this Sunday. So anyway, what do you guys think about this episode? What do you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section. Leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Lets the algorithm know about us, and lets more people know about our videos. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining us. Come back next week. We're going to be reviewing episode 3 of The Last of Us. Until then, I've been Mo De Poupée, your resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.